This for all my Motown Sports Dads, repping every game with the fields and the courts at. Keeping every schedule in the notepad. Rocking team merch and a sports cap. This for all my Motown Sports Dads, repping every game with the fields and the courts at. This for all my Motown Sports Dads. This for all my Motown Sports Dads. Courtesy of Motown Madness. Courtesy of Motown Madness. Can't you see it's Motown Madness? Can't you see it's Motown Madness? Courtesy of Motown Madness. Courtesy of Motown Madness. This for all my Motown Sports Dads. This for all my Motown Sports Dads. Yeah. Motown Madness family, we back. Motown Sports Dad, the podcast where we support sports dads in Macomb County. We share experiences and resources to help their student athlete on the road to success, man. And we couldn't wait to get back to y'all, back for episode 2. That's me, Marcel B, the MC. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, all platforms. I'm streaming. Make sure you catch your boy, man. I'm out, man. And we talked about my Ubers, and we'll get to that eventually. But I had some pretty interesting Uber rides. But hey, to skip over me, man. Skip over me. We got my main man, Suburban Joe, bourbon connoisseur, and all around man of the people, right? What up? So Joe, what up? What's good, man?
Yo, what up?
What's good? You good today?
I'm good. I'm always good. You know that.
Good, man. Look like the sun's shining. Man. Look like the sun's shining up in Michigan too, man. It's looking pretty good.
It's trying.
We hopping in the spring. One of the things I love about spring in Michigan is the blooming of all the landscape and the trees. It's so beautiful up there. I got to make my way up there sometime this year.
Yeah.
When it gets warm. Yep, it's that time, man. Know. And then, of course, we got my main man, Coach T, founder of the Motown Magic basketball organization. We still call him the Chief Geek. That's still a moniker, sir, right? He likes to present the code, and he always has an angle that not everyone thinks of. But how you doing today, Brody?
All good, man. All good. Ready to rock and roll. Let's get into it.
Nice. And as you guys notice, we are missing one of the 4, right? Volpini, our man Volpini. Volpini actually has a baseball tournament this weekend. He's at the Oakland Yard baseball tournament in Waterford, Michigan. He's with his son B-Man, and the team is the Prospects. So good luck to the Prospects this weekend. Yep. You know they putting that work in. So we definitely gonna hold down the fort for Volpini. But shout out to him, B-Man, and the Prospects, right, fellas?
Oh yeah,
that's right. Good luck.
For sure. Now, let's get to it. Because what we say, we here for a good time, not a long time. So we're gonna hop right into it. Before we hop into any of our topics, right? Let's just catch the people up. What's changed from the last episode for you, Coach T? Anything different? What we need to let the people know? What's new? I know, but what's new that the people need to know about?
So recap on our weekend. With the Motown Magic, we had we knew we was heading into some tough moments, and that's exactly where we were. We went 1-3 last week. Can't tell you the last time we had a 3-game losing streak.
Wow.
But they are what I call meaningful losses. We lost one of them by I think 6, and then we lost the other 2 by 1. Both of them by 1. So we played tougher competition, and so that was fun. It was a big growth moment. So now I'm looking to see how we bounce back this week.
So it's about a week. You said you got another game tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's the semifinals in the championship.
Oh, wow. So we go back against the team that we lost to last by 1. Nice.
So it's a rematch. The winner that goes to the chip.
Yeah. Well, revenge season is on, because I was going to ask that if you're facing any of those teams again. So definitely wishing you and the boys good luck and, avenging that loss.
Oh, yeah.
Got to do that, man.
It's another learning opportunity. These boys got to learn, man,
So did you guys do anything different coming off that loss to prepare for this weekend?
You know what's funny? There's some things that you can only learn when you get close to that edge.
Okay.
And so that gave us opportunities to take a look at some new strategies and some things we found out about ourselves as coaches and as players being pushed to the brink like that.
Nice.
You don't want to make a lot of changes, right? Because you lose by 1, that means it could have went either way.
Right.
But we did see some opportunities to improve on some things.
Nice. Well, we look forward to hearing how y'all won tomorrow and bounce back, man. That's gonna be super dope.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Joe, you know,
Yo,
you see, I put that out there in the atmosphere. You got to speak it into existence. You did.
Right, claim it and name it. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Yes,
right.
sir. Joe,
Yep.
man. So, what's new with you since last time, man? What we need to catch people up on?
Nothing, man. Just had a great birthday on Monday. Hung out with T, and we played cards into the night with the fam, and a bunch of people came on over. Dave came on over. The neighbor, we had some neighbors over, and we had a good time. You know, we went to the bar for a little while, came back here, hung out, had a great weekend, man. The whole weekend was great. So
Super dope. So I'm gonna let the
yeah,
audience know. This is how I know they were having a long night, right? So I knew that I think they all met up at a pub on Joe's birthday, which is also St. Patty's Day, right? So
yep,
it's just an
yep.
all-around party. This is how I knew it was a long night. I just thought they were going to go to the pub, have a good time, go home. They FaceTimed me and they were playing spades.
That's
And
right.
it was like 10 o'clock at night. So when the spades come out, that's a 2 hour minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Minimum.
That's
Oh
a
yeah.
2 hour minimum. So that's
Yep.
how I knew. And this was a Monday night, right?
Yep.
So everybody got to get up, go to work the next morning. But I know
Yeah.
they had a good time, man. So
Yeah, oh, yeah.
definitely.
And it's high competition, you know, because it's usually Tarmel and I versus our wives. So, and let me tell you, those two are something together. I'm not gonna lie. So,
And they be
I heard-
slicing. Hey, they be slicing and dicing, man. When I tell
yeah, they
you,
do, man.
when I tell you they don't make errors, they don't make no
Nope.
mistakes.
So, man, let's hop right in. First
All right,
topic,
do it.
man. Look, Lavar Ball. We know Lavar Ball.
Yep.
We've seen him in the headlines in mainstream media for years now. You know, his boys have been in the league for some years now, but they recently made the cover of Slam magazine, right? And
Yep.
so on social media, if you've seen any of the clips, Lavar is sharing a little bit of the journey. You know, he's had to have his leg amputated, but he seems to have maintained a smile through that entire thing, which has been motivating and inspiring. Like I've seen workout videos of him, and he's maintaining his joy, and I love to see that. But you know, he has his son LaMelo Ball, who's the point guard for the Charlotte Hornets. His net worth is $40 million. Lonzo Ball, point guard for the Chicago Bulls, his net worth is $30 million. He has Jello Ball, who just signed a $13 million deal with Def Jam and the Universal Music Group, right? And this guy pretty much spoke this level of success into existence way before it happened. His boys were still playing high school and AAU ball when he was speaking this into existence. So to see this come into fruition as a dad, man, Sports Dad, Motown Sports Dad salutes you, Lavar Ball. We salute you. So, but we want to look at it from this angle. And this is my question for you guys. Seeing that his boys made it to this level of success, and I think they're far from done. I think they're just getting started, right? But what do you guys think, Joe, first? What do you think Lavar had to sacrifice as a father, right, for his sons to reach this level of success?
Yeah, as a father, wow. Well, you're sacrificing a lot, right? Because you gotta go from, you know, you got three boys, right? I had two. Tarmel's going to be on a whole different, you know, he's got four, but you're going to have to sacrifice, like, which son am I going to go watch today? You know, and as a father, you don't want to make that decision, right? I did not want to make that decision at all, right? It's like, you know, Chris and I had to, you know, divide and conquer, you know, and it was tough because it's like, all right, so I'm usually going to watch baseball, or I'm at baseball because I'm part of the coaching staff or whatever. So I felt like I didn't give Justin a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I missed a lot of his, you know, growth and growing and a lot of his games, you know? And so that was always tough for me. You know what I mean? The divide and conquer thing. I mean, I'm glad we were able to do it, you know? But as a dad, man, I sacrificed not seeing one of my boys play a game, right? Always, you know? And that was tough. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so I mean, there's other things we obviously sacrificed, right? We sacrificed a lot of dinners together, you know, sacrificed, you know, weekends that we weren't even home together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so we missed a lot of family time, you know, but at the end of the day, I think it was worth it though, you know, because I think the boys grew up, you know, they grew up not only, you know, being good athletes, but they grew up as men now, you know, and I think sports, you know, we always talk about this, right, guys? It's like sports is that thing that, you know, helps develop these kids, you know, in so many different ways. It makes them mature. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can dig that, man. What
Yeah.
about you, Coach T? Like, you know, what do you think that Lavar had to sacrifice, you know, as a father, man, or even as a man, along this way to see his boys to this level of success?
Well, I think he had to sacrifice his personal dreams.
That's a
I
good point.
always say, um, like, so before you have kids, your plane is doing this. It's getting up to altitude before it reaches its cruising. There's the camera. Before it reaches its cruising altitude. So, you know, depending on how high you get when you had
Yeah.
them kids, right? Now you become at its cruising altitude, right? And so, a lot of your personal dreams got to kind of take a back seat, and not just yours, also your wives, you know. And so, he definitely had to sacrifice a lot of his personal aspirations, and that's why many of us, our dreams become attached to what our kids accomplish, because that's our new dream, is to
Yep.
see them accomplish theirs. I think the trick is to not attach what you saw in yourself to them, where you're trying to live vicariously through them and force them to accomplish some stuff you wanted to do. Um, but yeah, I think he had to sacrifice his own dreams, his wife dreams, and you have to decide to be a sports family.
Mm-hmm.
As a recreational sports family, it's not a big sacrifice.
Right.
You know, we go around the corner, maybe the CVLL, and play some baseball in the spring. Easy to do. It's around the corner, close to home. Doesn't cost us
Yep.
a lot. Great
Yep.
time though. Great family
Yep.
moments. The sun is shining. You know, the grass is green, and you get to see your kid compete. Beautiful. But when you decide to be a competitive sports family, that changes your vacations.
Yep.
That changes your budget. That changes what you drive, what you
Yep.
eat. It impacts a lot of things. You know, Dion bats cost almost $500. You know, and so I understand the sacrifice, and it's just all right. We got to decide what kind of family we are. Also, every kid, you know, like Joe said, I got four boys. You know, so every kid can't play every sport. You know, me and Dion battle all the time when he wanted to be a Motown Magic and play basketball, but here he is as a competitive pitcher and shortstop. It's two different worlds, and sometimes they collide, right? And so we all got to make sacrifices. But yeah, shout out to the Ball family though.
For
Yep.
sure. I think you touched on something great on the difference between being a competitive sports family versus just a casual sports family. You know, there's
Mhm.
a big difference in those two.
Yep.
I think the one thing I think about, and this is from personal experience, especially with seeing LeVar Ball navigate what he's navigating currently, I think you can make health sacrifices.
Mhm.
And this is why I say that. So we have three boys. I got one that's turning 27 tomorrow. I got one that's 25, and we have one that's 15. Now, all three boys have played basketball. The two older ones played basketball. Now, when they were AAU and high school ball age, I can recall taking a career and a job that required me to travel on the road 4 to 5 days a week. I fly out on Sunday, I'm only home on Thursdays. So a lot of those games and practices, I couldn't even be at. I remember watching, it wasn't FaceTime then, it was whatever the equivalent on a Samsung was then, like a Google Meet type thing, right? I'm watching the games remotely as my wife is holding up the camera to the games because I couldn't be there. And here's where I say health is sacrifice. I spent so much time on planes and on the road. I used to have two laptops and a book bag on my shoulders all the time. Now, the main reason I took this job was for my family. It was almost triple my salary at the time. So it was a sacrifice for me to get on those planes every week to put the family in a better position, right? That
Yep.
eventually set up a six-figure salary for me, right?
Yep.
The six-figure salary wasn't there on the front end for the boys as they were playing basketball, so we couldn't do as much. I couldn't get the personal trainer really. I could only do the minimum for what they needed in in their crafts, right? So, you know, our oldest boy didn't have all the opportunities that the middle son had. And Chris is our oldest, and Sarah's our second oldest. Sincere had more opportunities than Chris. Now we have MJ, you know, about a 10-year gap between those, who he has the personal trainer. He's playing in multiple leagues. But for me, health-wise, I am now dealing with the effects on my shoulder and my back of all of that traveling. So the sacrifice I had to make for them to be able to play the sport, and this really goes down to MJ now, right? The sacrifice of the years was I couldn't be at your brother's games, and I sacrificed my health so that you now can have the proper environment to hopefully thrive in this passion or dream that you have. And so the fact that Lavar's dealing with health issues, it's got to be at some point he sacrificed his health for the sake of his family. So that was just one thought that I had in terms of it. So from our sports dads out there, as you guys navigate these journeys with your kids, what do you feel like you're sacrificing? Now, you know, as dads, we'll never say that our, you know, the journey of our kids is taken away from us. We'll never admit that. Right. But we can be honest and say what we're sacrificing as men, as husbands, as fathers, what we are sacrificing to make sure that they're successful.
I want to add something to that. We definitely sacrificed the old version of ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, you start to find a new version of you. And I think that's why Joe was saying last week, what do I do now?
Right.
You know, I'm different now. I'm somebody else now. Right. It's transforming to go through this process of sacrificing, and you know, you start to get excited about it. It started to become your source of inspiration. And so you know, I always say you either a good father or you ain't. And it happens instantly. As soon as that you see that baby for the first time, it'd be like, what I got myself into.
Or you feel like such a big moment. Such a big moment.
Like, this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And you never look back. You know, it's either one or the other, right? But when they start playing sports, that's another transforming moment as well. And so, I just wanted to add that.
For sure, man. So parents out there, let us know in the comments, what have you been sacrificing? Just give us one sacrifice in the comments, and you'll be surprised how many other parents feel just like you, man. So let's keep it moving, man. What's on tap with Suburban Joe? This segment is sponsored by our good folks over at Level Up, man. What's on tap? We walk through what's going on within Macomb County, the sports, what to do, the deals. We're going to walk through the various things. So without further ado, what's on tap with Joe? Let the people know what's popping in Macomb County.
All right. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Warren Lincoln Abe's High School.
Yes, sir.
Their basketball team, right? They won their second straight Division II championship last weekend with a fourth quarter comeback. So
that's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. And so they were led by twin brothers. They're both senior guards, Moses and Marcus Blackwell.
Nice.
Marcus scored 13 points while Moses had 9 and 3 assists. Also, Marcus averaged 19.5 points and 4.8 rebounds heading into the postseason, while Moses averaged 6.5 points per game.
Nice.
I can't wait to see what's next for those two, right? And on top of all that, the area coaches, they all selected their all-county selections. The Warren Lincoln was named Team of the Year. Their head coach, Wydell Henry, was named Coach of the Year. And Marcus Blackwell was named Player of the Year. Wow, nice. Man, it was a great year for them, man. It's great to hear that. I just can't, hearing this stuff makes me happy. They balled, man.
Shout out to the Lincoln A's, man. That's dope, man. That's dope, man. Anything else going on in Macomb County, man? Definitely shout out to that team, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then you know what? With Easter is quickly approaching, right?
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm going to give you some ideas. I'm going to give you all some ideas. Go look it up, and if it's something you want to do, take the kids out, take them out, right?
Yeah, cut out some of the work for the dads.
That's right.
Research.
That's right. All you got to do, I'm going to name a few places here, and hey, just look it up. This is Easter events coming up. Nice. Chesterfield at the Playhouse Paradise, starting March 29th. They got a whole bunch of things every weekend going on there. Clinton Township Civic Center on April the 12th. Roseville Huron Park, also on April the 12th. First Church of Sterling Heights, April the 19th.
Nice.
Warren Community Center, April the 15th. And St. Clair Shores Blossom Heath, April the 19th. So, hey, log on, check it out. Some of them you're going to need reservations. You're going to have to make appointments or whatever. But, hey, log on and go do it, man. Take your kids somewhere other than just a sports thing. Sometimes it's actually nice to break it up, right? So
for sure, man.
Yep.
And to the dads out there, Easter is one of those holidays where they get us to dress to the nines, right? So if you're gonna dress in your Sunday's best for Easter, everybody might as well see it possible, right? Get everywhere so they see you in that suit and in your best, man. But definitely shout out to the Lincoln Aves and everybody that's doing an Easter event in Macomb County. That's gonna be lit, man. And so with that being said, we got a couple words from Coach T on Level Up. Let's check that out.
Sometimes being a soccer mom or a sports dad sucks. Be honest. I'm a father of 4 and a furry baby. I used to be 120 pounds soaking wet. Sure, I wanted to add muscle, but I ain't never expect to get fat. Every time my wife got pregnant, I got pregnant. Dad bod is real. Look, I'm a basketball coach, and it seems that 10 pounds came with every trophy we win. All the fast food and the travel on the road. You start to get away from you pretty quick. You look up, and before you know it, you're 40, trying to get back in the gym. And the energy it just ain't there. So my wife and I, we had enough this year. We said this year we're going to focus on us. But we had no idea where to start. So luckily, I met a great resource at the gym. My buddy Brian Edwards, who is the co-owner of Level Up Health and Wellness. We had some conversations. He was getting great results. I went home excited to tell my wife about it. From there, the folks over there at Level Up, they made it a super easy journey. So look, I started their testosterone replacement therapy program, and my wife, she already showing her amazing results with a weight loss curriculum. If you're a parent who's lost your individuality and energy for life, then I strongly recommend for you to contact Level Up Health and Wellness right now. If you're watching this, you can scan the QR code. It's right above. Or visit leveluphw.com. That's leveluphw.com. Look, at some point, kids going to grow up, and we got to get back to us, feeling attractive and confident again. You got this, and you ain't got to do it alone. Look in the mirror. See yourself again. Peace and love.
And there you have it, Level Up with Coach T. Super dope, man, to hear that he's walking through that journey with his wife, man. You know, the importance of doing that with your spouse and just stepping through a health journey is so, so helpful. You know, we talk about hitting the gym with the fellas. You know, the equivalent to that is doing something with your wife in that space. But T, man, tell us, where exactly are you in the TRT journey? Like, how far have you gotten?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say is, this is part of being a sports dad. Like finding out what you and your wife's zone is again. And don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till the kids are gone and you're just sitting there like, okay, now what? Well, start now. Start right where you at. Just start, and man, let me give you some advice. Look and see what it is that she's into and find your zone in it. All right? Don't force her in your path. Don't do that. Nope. Figure out what makes her light up and find your space in it. But to answer the question, the TRT thing, so I took I got my labs done. That's the first thing you do right off the bat. Boom. They want to see where you at, get some blood work done. So I got my labs back and they look pretty good. My testosterone is still in a good space, but it can use a little boost. Of course, it's a testosterone place, so it's always gonna need some testosterone. But no. I'm just poking with my guys over there.
Right.
But I did see that my LDL bad cholesterol needs some work, so that was interesting to understand. A lot of times those things are hereditary. Usually means you can clean up diet, do more workout, stuff like that. But overall, though, so now that we know exactly where I'm at, now we can go ahead and get started with my therapy. So that's where I'm at.
Nice, man. So we're gonna keep the people updated, man. Definitely inspiring to me.
Yeah,
I've been on a journey regarding testosterone. So
yeah,
just hearing that there's a solution out there
Yep.
that's easy to walk through from the people at Level Up. Looking forward to hearing about that and the progress, bro. It's super dope.
yeah. So,
Um,
I just want to add that they, a lot of times this stuff can be medical jargon and complicated and tough to understand and even intimidating. You can feel a little bit of anxiety from dealing with it, but these guys make it simple. It's down to earth. It's user friendly, and so it's something you guys should really consider, man. Level Up Health and Wellness is doing their thing, so glad to be a part of them and glad
nice.
to have part of our team.
Shout out
Yep.
to Level Up, man. So in talking about LeVar Ball and his sacrifices, right? And
Mhm.
what he had to sacrifice as a dad.
Yep.
I started to think about it from another perspective, and not really about LeVar Ball, but just us as sports dads as a whole. And I had a question, and I want you to start us off on this, T. Like, um, how do you not lose yourself as a husband while being an effective and present sports dad? Like, how do you not lose yourself as a husband? What's something you do?
You got to be intentional, man. You got to be, because you're going to. You're going to.
Mhm.
That's the hard answer, the hard cold facts. You're going to, but find your way back. Be intentional about that quality time. Um, once a week, as often as possible. Shout out to my man Joey for putting me on to the Cooper's Hawk Wine Club, where
Nice.
we can, and that's part of the community as well. We always give love locally, but
Yep.
about $40 a month, we belong to a wine membership where we can go get tastings and different bottles and enjoy food. It feels luxurious for not a whole lot of money, and we try to do wines. We have a good time. I mean, Joy's VIP. We actually went there for Joy's birthday. I had the ribs. Chris, his wife, put me on the ribs, so I get the ribs every time. I think we all had the ribs that night, right,
I
Joy?
think we did. Oh yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
Hey,
for sure. Yeah.
nothing like a good beef rib, man. But go ahead, bro.
Oh, I'm telling you.
yeah. But see, it's something that we could do. We can make time for it.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
right. It's
Yep.
close. I find worse ways to spend $40 per month. Spending that subscription make me more liable to use it. You know what I mean? Like it's just being
Hmm.
intentional. Like what's gonna put me on the hook? What's going like use your sports dad zone in your marriage.
Nice. Love that.
You
Love
know
that.
what I mean? So
Yep.
that's my perspective.
Love that. What about you, Joe? Like, what are some of the things you did as a sports dad to not lose yourself as a husband?
Well, we made sure that when we were home, we all sat down at dinner together at the table. Not, what I mean? We're not just gonna, boys are not gonna eat over there. When we were home, and we still do to this day, we sit at the dinner table. You know what I mean? We talk, but it's a chance that we're always together, right? Because you all know, being sports dads, being just a sports family, we're split up all the time.
Yeah.
Between practices, games, and whatever else is going on. Hey, I want to go to, friends, teammates base birthday party. And, it's like, we're barely ever home. So one thing that we always made sure that we did to stay close, especially for Chris and I, is like Tarmel said, we'd find like little things to do, we didn't, so for sure we'd always do dinner together at the table
I
whenever we
love
were
that.
home.
I love
Yeah.
that, Joe.
And
Hey,
That's such a lost art.
I want to add something to that. I got a
yep,
moniker for the show, and I think it's important that we get back to that as families, to back
yes.
to the table.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
eat, all right, eat. Eat stands for everybody at the table.
Love it.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
eat. Let's eat together. Let's pray
Nice.
together and let's eat together.
I like it.
Nice.
Yep. I like it. Yep.
Love
Because
that,
that's
man. Yes,
important.
such a lost
Yeah.
art. Such a lost art,
Yep.
eating together.
Yep.
Even families with dining room tables, everybody go to their room. Dad goes to
Yep.
the man's den or the living room and
Yep.
eats his meal. So the importance of getting back at the table.
Yep.
I think the one thing y'all kind of nailed it, but being intentional is so key. You guys know that we're going to be traveling for MJ's, AAU tournaments, and we're
Mhm.
going. The family is literally having to go to cities we've never been to before. So I have in my mind that At some point, MJ is going to just be hanging with his teammates, which buys my wife and I time to go out to a place to eat in a city that we've never been to. So it'll buy us like a date night along the way. You know, men, as we do things, you know, we like to multitask. So what's key for us is being able to do one thing while we're doing another thing. If we can do something along the way, I know we'll be all for it. So as you're at the tournaments, as you're out of town traveling, and you have your wife with you, find something to do along the way, right? It doesn't have to be a separate thing. It can be merged together, and you find those moments, you know, within the journey of being a sports dad, man. But what we do want, again, give us some of your ideas. What didn't we say? What are we not doing? What didn't we think of, right? There's something you're doing because you've managed to, you know, your marriage is surviving while being a sports dad. What's some of the things that you're doing to contribute to that, man? So got something for y'all, fellas. Got something for y'all. And this segment here is sponsored by the great folks over at the Motown Magic basketball organization. One of my favorite teams. I'm not just being biased, but they got a great program. They got a great founder, and they've been able to look out for the Motown Sports Dad show. Shout out to all the parents of the Motown Sports, the Motown Magic athletes, man. You guys are amazing. I met some of you in person. I hear about a lot of you. You guys are a great tribe over at the Motown Magic. Got something for y'all guys. Yes, dad, no dad. We are going to walk through a few topics, man. Y'all rapid fire.
Is it rapid fire?
Yes, sir. Rapid fire, man. Rapid fire. So
rapid fire, you're doing rapid flyer.
If you agree, it's a yes, dad. And give us a few sentences on why you agree. If it's a no, no, dad. Give me a few on why you don't agree, right? Y'all got the rules?
Yes, dad, no, dad.
Yes, dad, no, dad.
Let's go.
All right. Now we're gonna go through this first one. Hope y'all get this right the way this is supposed to go. We're gonna start with you, Joe. Kay Cunningham. We know about Kay. Kay's been killing it just recently. Kay, the Pistons beat the Miami Heat. Kay had a triple-double, and he hit the game winner, and he caught glass. He said he might have whispered it. But anyway, Kay's been phenomenal this year. But the question is Kay Cunningham the best Piston since Grant Hill? Yes, dad, or no, dad, Joe?
Yes, dad.
Yes, dad. Why?
Yes, dad. Why? I don't know. I mean, you know what? With the Pistons being down for so long, right? I mean, we know we've been suffering, and with Cade, when they got Cade, and you can watch him grow. And this Pistons team, I mean, they're balling, right? I mean, it's just not Cade, but I think Cade is he's like the spark plug, right? This is perfect. Pistons, right? He's a spark plug of the engine, right? And man, I'm telling you, he has been so exciting, and it's great. It's great to have him. So yeah, for me, I think he is. Yes, dad.
Yes, dad, for Joe on Kay Cunningham. What about you, Coach T? Is Kay Cunningham the best Piston since Grant Hill? Yes, dad, or no, dad?
No, dad.
Oh, no, dad.
No, dad. So he is the next Grant Hill. 100%, which is beautiful to see.
Yeah.
I feel like Grant Hill's career got cut short at his apex.
Okay.
So I think we're getting another shot at it. So let's see. So far, I love it. Keep that average above 25 points. Keep them numbers around 6 and 6. You're on your way, Brody. But until you bring us a championship like Chauncey Big Shot Billups,
yes, sir,
then I'm gonna have to say no, sir, dad.
No, sir, dad. Oh man, and you know what? I'm actually gonna have to agree with T on this. It's a no, dad for me. And I was gonna say that Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton, Big Shot Chauncey Billups, right? I was 23 years old, and I watched them bring the city a championship where I could celebrate it in an adult way, and I wasn't a kid, right? And so until he can do that, it's going to be pretty hard to surpass that group. That group collectively was the superstar. They were rock stars. We had just moved to Florida. Tarmel and I saw them downtown, and they were rock stars in downtown Orlando. Right. Now, I will say this. Kay has what the kids nowadays call aura. Cade Cunningham has aura, man. That kid has aura. He's special, but I just think it's too early to say yes, Dad. So it's a no, Dad, for me. Next one, man, because we got to keep going. Next one. Tigers opening day next Thursday, right? I think it's March 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Tigers made it to the divisional round last year.
Yep.
Will the Tigers get past the divisional round this year? Yes, Dad, or no, Dad, Coach T?
Yes, Dad.
Yes,
Yes,
Dad.
Dad.
Okay.
I think they still don't know their limitations, and I think for this particular group, it works for them.
Got you. Okay. What about you, Joe? Is that a yes, Dad, or no, Dad? Do the Tigers
Yes.
get past the divisional round?
Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad.
Okay.
This is gonna be a total homer thing. So I think they're well coached. They have the pitching, right? Scooble, he's an all-star.
Yes, sir.
They got Job. They got Job in the bullpen. They got Job as a starter. They got depth in the bullpen. Last year the pitching got them to where they were, right? And this year, they got more depth in the bullpen, right? And then, we got Torkelson. Right now he's been playing well right now. And then you got Kerry Carpenter and you got Riley Green. So unfortunately we didn't go get that all-star bat this year. They ended up re-signing Baez, who really wasn't even a part of what them in the playoffs last year. So that part I'm a little scared of. We're a little weak at third base, but I'm still gonna say yes, Dad.
Nice. I like it. So I'm being a homer as well. Even though I live in Florida, I've been here since 2005. I am a Piston. I am a Lion. I am a Tiger. I am a Red Wing. So let's get that out the way for the season so you always know. And it's a yes, Dad, for me all the way because I'm a homer. But I got a couple more points, though, real quick. So a couple things. First thing is I do a little bit of the sports betting. And Tarek Skubal, God bless you, sir, because you won me so many slips last year. Your case slips were crazy. And so I made a nice amount of money off you last season. So let's keep that thing going. Whatever you did last year before the season and during, keep that going. So I'm going to say yes because of that, because I get more bets in if they do get past the divisional round. The other thing, Gleyber Torres, we picked him up from the Yankees. I actually watched him. Why did I watch him last year? Because I was sports betting. That'd be the only reason why I know Gleyber Torres, because I don't watch a ton of baseball, but I do watch the Tigers. And when I'm sports betting, I'm watching all the players that I bet on. But Gleyber Torres had a pretty decent year for the Yankees last year, and we picked him up this offseason. So looking forward to what he does for the Tigers. So it's a yes, Dad, for me on the Tigers getting past the divisional round. Last question to you guys, and I love this one.
Here we go.
This one right here. Hey, this one right here is going to start some fights across America. Well, maybe not America, but definitely Chicago and Detroit and maybe New York. But we ain't really sweating that one too much.
No.
But that Chicago one, I'm circling that on the schedule. But here it is, fellas. Are the Lions better with or without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, Joe? Is that a yes, Dad, or a no, Dad?
It's we can't wait to see, Dad. I'm not gonna lie. This is a tough question, right? Because it's a very tough question, because I'm hoping yes, Dad, is what I'm hoping, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping yes, Dad. I want to, watching the Lions the last few years, defensively, especially what they did defensively this year. I know, they laid an egg against Washington, but man, we were, hurt. We had, half our team was hurt on defense, right? And we still made it that far, right? Everyone, the whole country, doubted them, and they still made it further than most people, thought. And then watching, we all have to admit, watching their offense, with Ben, and he was very intelligent and coming up with all these plays. And Goff, he balled with Ben,
Yep.
So again, I'm going to be a homer. I say yes, Dad. But a nervous yes, Dad, because
I love it. Well, let's sweat this season out there, Joe. A nervous yes, Dad. I'll take it. T, man, yes, Dad, no, Dad. Are the Lions better with or are the Lions better without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? Are they better?
I like this rapid fire, man. It added a little bit of intrigue.
Yes, sir.
Um, yes, Dad. And the reason why is because I'm gonna take a different angle on this, guys.
Okay.
Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn became bigger than the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell. Um, and it was because of the success that everybody had as a unit. Shouts out to those guys for everything they did for us. I can appreciate that. Your coordinator should never be a bigger name than your head coach, especially if that head coach is Dan Campbell.
Yes,
That
sir.
is crazy. That lets you know how big they got.
Yep.
They got so big that um, they became a bigger story than us making it in the playoffs, right? And so
True.
it's time for them to move on.
Yep.
At that particular point, it's time. We can't wait another year. I truly believe the only reason why we lost to Washington is because we were distracted. Our coordinators were distracted with their next steps, and so it's time for them to go ahead and do what it is that they want to do, and it's time for us to right the ship. You got to learn how to win. Learning how to win, sometimes you got to do things like not let coordinators get bigger than the head coach.
Yep.
I think Dan Campbell figured that out. And I think with that being said, it's a perfect time now for us to take the next step of keeping our coordinators in check. You know, and I ain't big on saying keeping grown men, especially other sport dads, in check.
Right.
But kind of keep them in check. Now keep them at their layer so that the power structure is in order so that we can accomplish our tasks as a unit. And so it's a yes, Dad, for me. We're gonna be better without them.
Nice, man. I love that.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
it's a yes, Dad, for me, for sure. I think the Lions are better without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Here's why I think that. I remember having a conversation before the last NFL season with Tarmel, with T, about the Buffalo Bills. I told him that the Bills would be better. Josh Allen would be better without Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis because less would be more.
Yep.
This is an example of less being more, right? Ben Johnson and like there, you described that so well. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, notoriety wise, they became head coaches as far as their notoriety, and it was too heavy at the top, and so now less is going to be more. In addition to the fact that we made some real moves on defense and health, right? We lost one of the best defensive ends in the game, and the fact, you know, and our defensive backs. Yep. So losing Hutch was huge.
Yep.
Even though we were able to pick up Zadarius, looks like we're not renewing Zadarius's contract, and we're moving on. But there's some dogs out there available that we can still grab. So still need to make some moves on defense. We need a healthy defense, but less is going to be more this year. And I think this is actually the year that the Lions go all the way and they actually bring that trophy home to the city. So that's it. Yes, Dad. No, Dad. Looks like the Tigers and the Lions are an absolutely dad from the group. And then, as far as Cade Cunningham, the words still yet to be discovered on you, man. But keep up the good work because I love you, Cade. But look, absolutely, man. So as I said, we're gonna get a word from Motown Magic. The origin of the Motown Magic is so amazing, y'all. And it's such a story that I love, I can relate to as a sports dad and navigating, going from being a sports dad and having that in your heart to allowing that to birth an organization. Coach T walks us through that. Let's check that out now.
I bet you did not know playing basketball pleases God. Dr. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, stated in his philosophy that the mission of basketball is to win men for the master through the gym. His idea was that missionaries would spread awareness of the sport and the good news of Jesus Christ. I identify as being one of those missionaries that Dr. Naismith envisioned. I played for the Magic growing up, where my dad was my coach. This showed me that a father figure could show up in many forms, from a stepdad to a teacher to a coach, heck, even a brother. This planted a seed deep in me as a kid from the west side of Detroit. The Motown Magic has become a platform where the relationship between father and son can grow. And also, father figures can stand in the gap for our boys whose fathers, they're not around. We built a positive environment that encouraged growth of basketball intellect, discipline, and leadership qualities. A place where accountability means more than winning. It's even created a healthy communication channel for me and my own kids. Now I'm starting to see that this private organization needs to be more public. It's going to require some expansion. Basically, we're going to need a bigger boat. And this is where you come in. If you'd like to partner with us and help out in any kind of way, visit us at MotownMagicBasketball.com. Let's discuss the ways that we can partner up. Just like I tell my boys in the huddle, if it's going to happen, it'll happen together. So, together on 3.
And there you have it, family. Look, the Motown Magic, the origin is so dope, man. And what I love is that Coach T is expanding the organization beyond just a roster spot. He's actually opening the doors of the organization to more families to do basketball activities, but also family building activities. So shout out to the Motown Magic. It's like our staple team here, and we love the organization, not just because it's a sponsor of the show, but they're really doing some things to rebuild or strengthen the relationship between a dad and his son. And speaking of the Motown Magic, we got none other than the small forward, Mr. Do-It-All, jack of all trades. Call TSA because that boy got them bags on him, you dig? Mr. Caden Centino, man. What's good, man? How you doing, sir?
Good.
Glad to have you on the show, man. Look, we're not going to keep you here long, right? Because we want you to get back to your Saturday. But we do have a couple questions for you, and I'm going to kick us off, man. Let's hop right into it. Your team doesn't lose a lot.
Yeah.
I probably talk to Coach T every day. He's keeping me updated. I get the newsletter that he's sending out. I get the videos he's dropping on YouTube. I see all the highlight films on Instagram. You guys don't lose a lot, right? But last weekend, you guys went 1-3. 1 win, 3 losses. I don't think I've ever seen that look at Coach T put his head down. Every time we say that, Coach T cringes just a little bit, right? And I can understand it. I dig it. But you guys, I've never seen you go 1-3. The question to you, man, is how's your team handling going 1-3 and taking those losses last weekend? How y'all handling it?
So we're not really used to it. So like, we're kind of like shocked that we went 1-3 because that doesn't really happen to us, and we just have to get back, forget that happened, go on to the next week, fresh start, and then we're versing the team that we lost to. So hopefully we get our get back, and we just gotta take it more serious, take the games more serious, take it by one possession. Every possession counts really, because we only lost by 1 point. We don't really lose, we don't really get blown out by 10, nothing like that. So we need to work on the little things, make our free throws, limit the turnovers, stuff like that.
Nice. Are y'all worried that you may lose tomorrow?
I don't think we're gonna. No, because we want to get our get back to the teams that we lost to. Because yeah, we're not really worried.
Okay. What about you, Joe? Any questions for him?
Oh, yeah, I've got a few. What's up, Kate? How are you doing, bro? Cool. Hey, so what's it like playing on a team that your dad is one of the coaches?
I mean, it's really cool. He can have he can tell me what to do a lot. Otherwise, if he's just sitting in the crowd and just telling me what to do from there, but he can tell me way more stuff to do, set this pick, shoot this shot, pass the ball more, stuff like that.
Sweet. Cool. All right. Now, fun question. Cade, what do you think of Cade Cunningham?
I mean, I kind of look up to him because I can really pass. I want to be able to pass like him, put up rebounds like him, put up points like him, stuff like that. Because if you have any team needs a player like that, because limit my turnovers. And Cade Cunningham, he's a player that I look up to.
Nice, man.
Cool.
Love it. So, Caden, good luck to you guys tomorrow
Yeah,
and
good luck,
getting your get backs. We want to hear that story, man.
Right.
Before we let you go, give some shout outs, man. What shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Motown Magic. Shout out to you guys, and and shout out to the families.
Nice. Motown Magic, Coach T, Coach Adam. Shout out to Coach Adam. Shout out to Coach Tony. Yep. Shout out to who else can we give a shout out to at the Motown Magic, Coach T?
The moms that show up and deal with us. This morning we had a shoot around. We had to be there at 9 a.m., which means they get up at 8 on our day off. And so shout outs to the moms and the parents that show up that are not on the coaching team or the staff that make the sacrifice for their kids.
Nice, man. There we have it, Motown Magic. So look, we're gonna get out of here, but before we get out of here, make sure that you like and subscribe on the video. We're trying to run the numbers up. All the parents out there, all my sports dads in Macomb County, man, let's run the numbers up. The more subscribers we get, the more we can bring resources on the show, help everyone out. Remember, the goal is to help you guys navigate this journey as a sports dad, and that's exactly what we're going to do. That's what we're here for. So like and subscribe. Make sure you follow Motown Magic at Motown Magic Basketball on Instagram. Make sure you go to MotownMagicBasketball.com. Definitely follow at Suburban Joe on Instagram. Right, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Follow. We got some content coming soon.
Yeah, because Joe like to go on bourbon tours, and he's actually going to the Buffalo Trace Distillery, right?
That's coming. That's coming soon.
Yeah, man. And so he you never know where Joe's gonna pop up. He's such a man of the people. Definitely follow your boy, Marcel B the MC. You know what I'm saying? That's Marcel B _THE MC. Marcel B the MC streaming Strange Fire, Deeper Than a Cut, featuring your boy, is out on all streaming platforms now. Make sure you go check out that song. Of course, that's me on the intro, Motown Sports Dad. We probably gonna drop that pretty soon on all streaming platforms as well. Make sure you follow us all. Shout out to Level Up. Go see them. Where, Coach T? Where can they go see Level Up? Where can they go check them out? Where can they link up with Level Up?
It's leveluphw.com, right? So like health and wellness, because that's what they focus on, getting you healthy and making you feel well again. They're out in Macomb County as well. And so around here, if you can't tell, we're putting on for Macomb. So if you got a Macomb business, come on here, talk to the people about it. Let's get your promotions going, and let's advertise, right? Let's build community together. So
Definitely follow us on Instagram, Motown Sports Dad. Shout out to Dana Rose Photography, man. If you've gone to MotownMagicBasketball.com, or if you've seen some of those posts on Instagram, it's her on the visuals. A lot of those dope visuals you're seeing, it is Dana Rose Photography. So definitely shout out to Dana Rose, man. And one more shout out to the boy that couldn't make it with us, our homeboy, our very own Volpini. Good luck to him and B-Man and the prospects this weekend. Of course, we like to keep you here for a good time, but not a long time. And man, anything else? Did I forget anything else, fellas?
Yeah.
No, I think you're good.
What's that?
Yeah.
Hey.